The European Court of Justice says that what defines the type of exemption is that the public authority exercises a control over the entity providing works or services that is similar to that which a contracting authority exercises over its own departments. Now, what is similar control? Our position is that similar control can only mean that the controlled entity carries out all of its activities. That means 100% of its activities with the municipality, and not only a part of them, or a major part of them, or 80%, or 90%, or 95%, but all of it. If it conducts activities for other authorities, so on a horizontal cooperation level, it means that it has other interests, and therefore the control over the entity is not totally similar. So all the exclusions, or many of the exclusions defined in Article 11, are not similar control, but go far beyond that. For example, joint control is not similar control. Joint control is not a similar control. An in-house entity cannot exercise control over its controlling entity, and so on. All these exclusions, in my perception, are not legitimate, and they would distort competition and therefore should be removed from the directive. When it comes to a cooperation, horizontal cooperation agreement, there should be no performing on the open market whatsoever, not even 10%, in order to ensure that the cooperation remains only governed by public interests and not by commercial considerations. In many cases, 10% of the activities of a big authority could represent a major share within a small market, a regional, a local market, which could prove absolutely detrimental for the development of small and medium enterprises, local, regional enterprises. This is an example of a big distortion of the competition between the public and small and medium enterprises. The variety of dozens of amendments made by EP members show that the relevance is quite high. There are many modifications or amendments, proposals, which try to even go farther in the exemptions, to give the public authorities or the procurers more space to cooperate on the horizontal level and to provide more exemptions. There are also many exemptions, or many amendments which go back from the exemption, which try to limit the exemptions, and it shows that it is also a battlefield between the private and the public sector. We've seen, especially in Germany, but also in the Netherlands, currently in the last couple of years, and this tendency is more and more coming up, and more we are faced to this tendency that the public authorities try to avoid to tender by giving business, public business, waste business, in the horizontal cooperation, or to so-called in-house entities, which at the end have some private stakes in it. You could say that is forbidden by the actual procurement rules, but it is actually what is done on a very broad area. This shows that if we allow for more exemption for the rule, this tendency would all the more be fostered for the public authorities. That is my first and certainly the most important idea I wanted to share with you. Second idea is the division into lots, and we think the division into lots should not become mandatory. It is good, but and we definitely support the better involvement of SMEs in public procurement, and we are not opposed to the possibility of division into lots, as it was formulated by the Commission in Article 44, with reservations that this article could be improved by recognizing that some types of contracts cannot be divided into lots. So that is something which on which there could be an amendment in the directive proposal, in particular when the object of the contract includes design and construction and execution of works or services. A division into lots would be very counterproductive. So we think that the contracting authorities must keep a certain margin of appreciation and be able to split into lots when appropriate. The requirement to specify the grounds as laid down in the Article 44, is it? Yes. So the requirement to specify the grounds may lead to higher potential in tender litigation, and that therefore could also be counterproductive. I come to the next idea, that is, the rules to identify abnormally low tenders are so strict that they will never, that it will probably very difficult to identify any abnormally low tenders. There need to be 3 cumulative and strict conditions to be fulfilled. First is the price or cost charge is 50% lower than the average price or costs of the other tenders. Secondly, cumulative, I said, the price or cost is more than 20% lower than the price or cost of the second lowest tender. And thirdly, at least 5 tenders have been submitted. So only if all of these conditions are met, abnormally low tenders can be identified under the rules of the proposal. I think that is far too much. I think that the threshold of 50% should be much lower, and that the amount of tenders submitted should be lowered at least to 3 instead of 5. My fourth and my last idea is that award criteria should really allow for value for money offers, and that has been already discussed. That means that we consider that price should not be the exclusive, never be the exclusive decisive award criterion. As far as waste services are concerned, and regarding the best value for money for services expected by citizens and public authorities, we have advocated for a wider approach than merely price-based award criteria. Of course, we favor the meet criteria, but we already discussed it, so I keep it short on that. Thank you.